Hey everybody. All right. I'm gonna do some inking. I'm not sure how long the stream's gonna go on because I got some stormy weather. I don't know if the internet's gonna hold out. So we'll see. Alrighty. All right. Drew these panels on a stream a couple days ago. Unfortunately, the audio was a bit echoey because it was picking up my camera mic and my separate uh, Blue Yeti mic. I didn't mean it for it to do that. Hopefully it's better now. Yeah, it's starting to thunder and rain. I'm not sure if that's coming up on the mic or not. Hopefully not. Why is this brush not? Hmm. All right. Man, what's wrong with my pressure sensitivity or something? This brush, it keeps like not reacting the way it should. Really irritating. Mhm. Hey Tobias, how's it going? Thanks for coming by. Kind of irritated because I just did this what's it called? Like with a CC cleaner on your computer that kind of like cleans up old unused files and stuff because I felt like my computer was going slow. And man, I swear like it like altered a brush the sensitivity setting on my Wacom tablet. I checked it and it's still showing the same settings that I had, but I don't know. It's definitely different. Come on. It keeps drawing these like thin lines. I'm trying to draw thick ones. I don't know what the deal is. Wish I hadn't done that. What a pain. I avoid any changes to my brushes and overall daily feel doesn't change. Yeah, I am completely regretting it. I felt like I shouldn't have done it as I was doing it, but so I'll have to get it figured out. Sucks that it's like, working all digitally. It's like it's a weird thing to have something be able to alter it so much and not having much control over it. Like, you're working traditionally, you have a certain brush you use or a certain pen. I guess that's what happens when you get famous comic strip artists and they stop making the pen that they're used to using, like a quill or something. There's been several stories like Schultz buying up like the company that was making his uh, pen nibs was going out of business, so he like bought the rest of their supply inventory. And then there's a comic strip documentary called Stripped, where I forget his name, but the artist that does the comic strip Mutts Sunday or a newspaper comic strip, he pretty much said the same thing. He's been using the same pen tip for his whole run. He joked that he would retire when they stopped making them, or no, they already stopped making them, and he only had like two left, and he's gonna joke that he would retire once he ran it down. Can't recall who the artist was, but one of them used the same pen every day, and when it broke, they stopped. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, in that same documentary, that the artist, I have a book of his. I can't remember his name though. The one that works on Mutts, and he makes a comment that artists are like dogs because he has a dog, so that's what make this connection. But in the way that they like their routine, I guess any pet would like their routine. But yeah, you get used to certain place you work, certain uh, chair you sit in, certain settings. Anything that gets creative work is already like you have all this variation of anything you do in your head. So you'd want stability outside of that. Mm. Try to turn off my screen for a second. Sometimes turning it on and off helps, which is really irritating. I had my old Wacom tablet that I had was I think it was called 21UX. That's what I used for like the longest time. And then it started crapping out on me. So about 5 years ago, I got the 22 HD, and even though it's HD has more pixels, so it's better resolution, but I don't like it as much. There's like this really irritating thing where like sometimes like you can't click on the corner of the screen, like it won't read for some reason, and I have to turn it on and off, and then it'll work. So if there's a menu, at the bottom somewhere, irritating when I can't click it. I have to tilt the pen a certain way if I don't turn it on and off. It's also weird because the aspect ratio of the screen is weird. I'm used to it now, but it's like a typical like widescreen style, like where the 21UX it was closer to a square a little bit. It's still rectangle, but closer to a square than like if you turned your phone sideways or like a TV. Um, so you get like it. I don't know. I feel it's weird because it's less important to have widescreen than it is tall because you're drawing and I don't know. That's whatever. Oh yeah, the 22 does that a lot. Oh, interesting. Okay, so you did happen to worked at a studio that my 22 and would do that nearly every hour. Yeah, it does it like constantly, and it probably does it more than I realize. I just, I realize it when I have to click something in like the farthest corner. That's interesting that it happens to you've had it too. So it's obviously a common issue. I assume it's something with the drivers, but you have them updated and everything, and I don't know. So it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, I bought the newer, supposedly better version of the tablet, and it's worse. That's frustrating. Man. Are there any other like art streams or like drawing YouTube channels or just art channels in general that you listen to? Not really. I usually either listening to interview podcast, cartoonist kayfabe, or music. Yep, same here. I like the cartoonist kayfabe channel. Clubs. They had to alter this drawing from the last time where I drew it on stream because I forgot that Trip was sitting to the stage right of Felton. The way I drew it on the stream, he was coming in from this side over here when he should have been coming over here. Flip it and change a little bit of it. It's as it happens when I'm like doing these drawings on stream. It's kind of hard to like uh, not pay attention, but it's just like an added challenge of like a semi distraction. But it's okay. Hopefully, I get used to it. I also think it is a matter of a lot of art streamers draw in a particular style that isn't my cup of tea. Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of it's I don't really see a lot of cartoony stuff. Mostly either like, man, this pen is driving me crazy. um, superhero stuff or painting and anime style manga. Which I actually started getting into some looking at manga stuff because of the cartoonist kayfabe channel. I had never looked at it or been really interested in checking it out, but I really liked some of the really cartoony stuff, like the Doctor Slump. There's some really funny, charming drawing in that, and that artist had just passed away. I saw a bunch of tweets, and then like the original Dragon Ball, not the Dragon Ball Z. I guess that's when they get all buff. I remember seeing like the anime on TV. I never watched it, and it wasn't something that I was interested in. But the original Dragon Ball, where he's like a cute little looking kid with really fun, cartoony, appealing drawing in that I was never really exposed to. I'm not really into I don't really read a whole lot of superhero type comics. The only ones that I read are the old Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko stuff. I really like Jack Kirby stuff because it's, borderline on, is probably the closest to a cartoony style that I would like. And it's like so really fun and dynamic and powerful, and I like that era of comics, just like the early era of animation. And it being the fact that most of it's colored in, that flat, simple or more simple style. Really hard to read some of the overly rendered and kind of like boring, like trying to mimic real life too much. And like you look at a page, and even though it's all like in the same scene, but everything is colored exactly the same way in every panel, and just kind of like washes out the image in your mind like white noise when everything is evenly rendered. They also turned me on to independent old indie stuff like Dan Clowes. I didn't really, the extent of my knowledge was just that Ghost World movie, and I never looked into his comics. But I really like a lot of his stuff, especially his color work. His color work is amazing. Um, but I've enjoyed discovering new things like that. Yeah, Akira Toriyama. Yeah, it's one of the best artists. I too recently discovered his manga, and he fastly has become one of my faves. Cartoony gold and funny as hell too. I know I was cracking up at the Doctor Slump comic. Read the first one like on the online, one of those manga sites, and then I bought a bunch of the books. It was freaking hilarious. Check out Tartakovsky's Cage comic. It is gloriously cartoony. I will check that out. Um, yeah, I just looked at some of the Dexter's Lab comics from the late '90s, early 2000s. I think was the time frame. Those are really good. I don't know if he had any hand in that, or if it was just made from the style of the show, But it was translated very well. Gloriously cartoony. Yo, hey Francis. How's this? How's it going, man? Since you weren't here earlier, you'll hear me cursing my brush because I cleaned up my computer and I think some of my settings got messed up. So my sensitivity is acting up. It's driving me crazy. I wish I would have realized it before I started streaming. But oh well. It's going all right. Chill. Cool. Oh, I left the preview on. Control. All right. Kind of happy with how this expression turned out. Animating a bit before going to bed. What are you working on? Animating a dog doing a kickflip. Sweet. They'll have whenever I have skateboarding related things come up on my Instagram feed or anything, it always makes me want to go out and skate, but it's been too long. I'm too old, I guess, now. Also, I don't want to fall down and hurt myself. Won't be the same. Won't bounce back as quickly like it was when I was young. Sure. Trying to build up speed by turning the tie down phase into the final line art phase. And man, I still skate every weekend, and yeah, it takes me longer to recover, but it's still fun. Yeah, I might try again. I threw away my board when I moved cross country. It was just one of those things that had just been sitting there. Hadn't ridden it for so long, and also like it was all worn out. Like the tail was all, you know, worn down. So if it even bumped anything, it would chip. I'm sure. No good for popping. But maybe I'll get another complete at some point. I do it more to socialize too. Yeah, yeah. I think there's a skate park in town, like a little makeshift one. Never seen anyone there though. Man, this brush. Eek. Everyone I skate with is in the same boat as me, older than 30 with kids. Oh, nice. But it's kind of fun. We get together and skate for a bit, talk about our weeks, our life, drink a few beers. Very fun. Feels weird when I don't go. Feels like a free therapy session. Yeah, no, that's awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. Especially because they're all older. And I can't even comprehend, like, it's crazy how much skating has advanced even since I was skating. It really is the fact of, like, kids growing up and seeing crazy tricks and then just thinking that's the norm and then just doing crazier stuff. Like watching Tony Hawk game in real life. Oh yeah, I saw a comparison between Eric Costin's winning line at the X Games like 20 years ago and a random kid at a skate park. Yeah, seriously. There are also these 5 and 8 year olds that skate better than some older people. Yeah, I've seen them, and it's like just throwing themselves downstairs and doing kick flips and 360 flips down like 10 stairs and 12 stairs. It's like insane. Saw a kid throwing a varial heel just casually off a ramp. Yeah. Actually, this should go up. Yeah, varial heels are one of my favorite tricks. My go-tos. My daughter randomly chose to watch on Disney Plus. It was called what was it called? Like the Probably Improbable. But it was like a little special TV thing that Walt Disney did when he was still alive. And it started off with a commercial for Disneyland, which was funny, which was odd because it was in the commercial was in black and white, and then the actual show was in color. So I wonder if they just didn't have a color print that. It was kind of interesting because the way they described it, like, yo, come to Disneyland each week, you'll have a different like a different place to go, and it's like they named off, Frontierland and Tomorrowland, and I don't know much about the history of Disneyland, but it made it sound like these areas are there's only like one area open per week, and it switches, and you have to go. If you go there, you only get to see one land, but that may have just been the way I was interpreting it. Oh, I haven't heard of it. Yeah, it was just like on their Wonderful World of Disney TV programming. Um, that was kind of like it's kind of goofy because it was basically him describing the impossible things you can do in animation. So it was like the old trope of having someone explain. You see that you see Mickey, he's running, and when he runs off a cliff, he'll just keep running straight in the air. He doesn't fall until he realizes he's running. Which there's nothing like less fun than having someone explain cartoon physics. Actually, I think this is going to be black. I better close these lines. But it was kind of funny because he was like explaining it, like giving reasons for these things happening. Like the reason Mickey keeps uh, when he's climbing up a rope, if he's going fast enough and the rope falls down, he'll keep climbing up midair because of his inertia. And it was almost like someone trying to explain like the reason for doing these cartoony things when you don't need to. You just do it. Does it matter? Probably revolutionary. No, not really. Or maybe yeah, to hear him actually like say those words, talk about it, riveting. Yeah, that would have been like in the 50s, mid 50s, when animation had already gone past being wild and crazy from like the late 20s to 30s and crazy in 40s. All that stuff had been done, and it was like winding down by then. So it was just kind of funny to have that. Like it sounded like someone trying to explain animation to like someone's aunt who's never seen cartoons or doesn't, like someone's angry dad who's like, "How did he get hit in the head and keep walking around? It won't make no sense." It's like someone explaining a joke. See, it's funny because yeah, exactly. It was almost like it almost felt like he was embarrassed that they even do cartoony things there because it's obviously like want the prestige of the features, and it's almost like I don't know, like see, we have a reason why we do these things when we do them. It's not just fun. Actually, thicker brush. Peter Walt never liked animation. He had a history of failed business endeavors. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he never liked it, but yeah, it's possibly more of a. I don't think he could have done that much with feature animation if he truly didn't like it. But certainly a business endeavor where I don't know, maybe more about the prestige of something of accomplishments than the actual end product. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's clear he just wanted to be rich somehow, and animation advertisement happened to be the answer because it was hot at the time. Well, that's, yeah. I find it crazy Friz feeling was there in Disney's studio before he moved to Cali. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see the different animators jump around. And clearly someone like Friz, well, and any of the Warner directors, maybe McKimson could have Yeah, Mickey Mouse could have certainly fit in at Disney, but people like Jones and Freeling and Clampett, they would not want to be in that kind of studio environment, stifling their works. Chuck Jones is a better example. Someone that really liked animation. Yeah. Either you play any video games? I'm excited for Dragon's Dogma 2. It's coming out in I think end of next week. It was one of my first one was my favorite games ever. Really enjoyed it. interesting with that game because I've seen people comment and say that just looks like more of the same. That's fine with me. It was a really great game and be great to see play through it, a whole new version of it. When there's time, I just restarted Tears of the Kingdom. Didn't click with me the first attempt. Just got to Helldivers 2, which I'm hopping on tonight with a few beers and play some. Nice. Yep, I agree with you. Nice. Yeah. I liked Tears of the Kingdom a good amount. I didn't finish it. I didn't finish the other one either. The what the hell was that other one called? The first Zelda, the new ones. Um, see, Francis says I picked up Tears 3 or 4 times already. Can't move ahead. I don't know. Something about the building or something doesn't click with me. I never wanted Minecraft. That was actually one of my favorite parts of it. I really liked the that mechanic. Um, my wife didn't care for it, and I knew she wouldn't. Even though she likes building stuff, like we play a lot of survival crafting type games, but she was just not for that style of gameplay. She loved the first one. Damn it, what was that one called? Breath of the Wild. Yeah, she loved Breath of the Wild. She did everything in that game. She found all the Koroks and all that. But she didn't even finish Tears of the Kingdom. I played Breath of the Wild for more than 250 hours, saw every single area. I love that game, but Tears did not click with me. Yeah, I think that was a lot of people's feeling, I think. Um, I was really disappointed with the actual floating islands. I thought they were going to be that was going to be something more to that mechanic, but it seemed pretty lacking. And then the underground place was cool at first, but then it just kind of became irritating, and it was kind of like not a whole lot down there. I also liked the I think I liked the shrines better in the first one, even though I do like the building mechanic. I think the puzzles were more interesting because you couldn't cheat through them. Let's see. Lucky it seems to be grabbing on me in the first attempt. Nice. Yeah, those islands. The crafting stuff is usually not my jam. And it's also like Banjo Kazooie, got hate. That's what Tears is. Yeah. The underground is a lot more interesting but repetitive. Yeah. Like I thought it was really cool at first. Um, but yeah, repetitive and not completely interesting after a while. But I really like building and crafting games myself, especially the survival ones. Like play like Ark and 7 Days to Die and Conan. Played all those. Those are all pretty fun. I've seen a lot of people love that Helldivers game. I haven't looked into it at all. But I just hope as Zelda fanboy we get a linear game next. No more open worlds, please. Yeah. Yeah, I would call myself a fanboy, but I definitely did like the previous games. I enjoyed the open world style, but it'd be cool to see just something different again. I tried playing Skyward Sword. They got the version that was on the Switch, and I just can't get past like those controls. I really don't like motion controls. I had it for the Wii. I had like the special because you had to get the special extra sensor handle one thingy, whatever those things were called, and uh, and I stopped playing that one too. But yeah, because even though you could play, they kind of changed the controls a bit to play with the gamepad on the Switch version. It was just too awkward to use because it wasn't meant for that. So it just felt really clunky and weird to me. I just couldn't get into it again. My biggest gripe isn't so much the crafting, but it's like everything that was bad about one, weapons breaking, stamina, etc. There, nothing was fixed. Yeah, I mean, I guess they didn't see that. They didn't see that as a problem. I guess it's just part of the baked into that game the way they built it. I don't mind the stamina thing, but I really hated the rain mechanic, where it's just like I think I saw can't remember where I saw it from, but it was basically like it's like a mechanic that just makes the game not fun at the time that it's happening. So whenever it's raining, it's like, yep, can't climb. And there is something like that slightly unsatisfying about not having weapons that don't break and that you don't have an actual uh tier list. You know, like you're getting better and better weapons. You know, that sense of progression with weapons is really missing because it's just whatever you can find and it breaks, and then you don't want to use the good ones that you have because it's going to break, and then it kind of defeats the purpose of having a good weapon. I haven't had a game capture me in months. I replayed RE3 just to feel something again. I agree, motion is fucked. Yeah, I didn't care for RE3. It's no two. Um, I liked the. I haven't played the remake of RE3. I liked the remake of RE2. Um, and I had both of those on the original PlayStation. And I didn't get RE3 because they cut out a bunch of stuff, and I was like, like I was already kind of like on the fence about playing it. And then when they cut out like the sewer and the park and the clock tower, all that stuff, like why are you gonna cut out stuff for when you're for a remake? Like you're making it less of a game. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I really hate motion controls. It's just not fun at all. The only time I liked it was like Wii Golf or something, like those mini games. Those are pretty fun. But for a full game, it's just not satisfying. It's just baked into my the feeling of playing a game is just too weird when you have two hands and you're like moving like that. It just doesn't feel good. Same way, it's kind of hard to get into playing a PC game with a keyboard and mouse. I'm so used to playing with a controller that just feels awkward. Even though I played when I first got a PC that was able to play good games a long time ago, I played the Elder Scrolls Oblivion game. Like that was like my first PC game I had ever played, and I played that with the mouse and keyboard. Um, I played it when it came out. That was like mind blowing to me. I'd never played a game like that. Had that much like depth. I'd only played you know console games. Let's see. I didn't mind. I liked the fact that it was shorter, actually. Interesting. I finished it every 2 days, a new playthrough. Nice. Yeah, I am finding I just run past enemies now. There isn't any point to fight. Yeah, I mean, I guess that was kind of what you were supposed to do, sort of, in the originals. Like you weren't supposed to really fight every single enemy, but yeah. I don't like the way it looks. Maybe they already come out with that Resident Evil 4 remake, or is that not out yet? I'm ambivalent about that. I remember playing it with my friend, but it was like that was like past when I wasn't into video games as much because I missed that whole era of PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox. I didn't play anything really except for at a friend's house. But oh, that one was on 360, I think. I don't remember. But yeah, that one was okay. I don't know. Motion controls don't allow you to get immersed. Yeah, I'm interested in those. Like, seeing those. I don't know how advanced they are. How they're still early days, but the VR things where they have like you stand in the little ring and you can walk, and there's like a treadmill underneath, or like some kind of like a bunch of like balls, so you can like run in place basically. Um, that seems like it could be really fun. I don't know about playing a full game like that, but I haven't really tried any VR. But I feel like that would be the case where it would be where motion controls would make sense because you're reaching for things in the world, and it would feel a little more immersive, I guess. But I don't know. I've never tried it. I don't even know if you can play those things very well if you have to wear glasses. I don't know if those things fit. shit. Hmm. Yeah, with the original Dragon's Dogma game, I played that thing to 100% basically, except for the DLC. But yeah, like upgrading all of the vocations and the super fun game. Here's a question: what cartoonist artists would you pick as your Mount Rushmores? It's a tricky one because it's like balancing between animation and comics artists. So I'd say Tex Avery. For comics from Bill Watterson, even though that Howard and Hobbes didn't run for very long compared to other artists, but obviously, and I guess for personal, just for personal influence, and yeah, I'd say definitely Bill Watterson and hmm, I don't know how to think about that. What about you? Hmm. Look at my books. Oh, Harvey Kurtzman for sure, and Carl Barks. I think that's a good. Yeah, I think that's pretty. I guess that's mostly comics, but yeah, Tex Avery, Bill Watterson, Carl Barks, and Harvey Kurtzman. Uh, and then at the bottom, ones who were left out would be like Alex Toth and Jack Kirby and Clampett. And Chuck Jones, I guess that'd be an alternate mountain. It's a tough one. Barks is the man. Yeah, I only recently discovered Watterson, and I'm in love. Yeah, I grew up reading his Calvin and Hobbes strip when it was in the newspaper, and I would, among others, I would clip them out and save them, and then I ended up getting the big paperback books from like the bookstore and stuff. But definitely as an artist that I grew up, with and heavily influenced by, you have to be on there. But then it's like hard because it was only like that strip only ran for 10 years. Then you have other artists, that work for so much longer. Man. But not about necessarily about length of time, I guess. But yeah, I love Karl Barks. I have a whole bunch of those books, Fantagraphics ones. It's fantastic. And just one of those things where it's so cool as it was just just him, as I guess typical for most comic artists, but yeah, just him doing all that by himself from home, not at the Disney studio, mailing in his drawings from his little farmhouse. Also, one of those things where it's unfortunate that certain artists aren't appreciated more in the U.S. as they are in other countries. Like he's huge in Europe, and they still have like Donald Duck magazines and comics that are printed every every month. They're like reprints of his stuff. But only that shadow. I don't know, outside of comic fans in the states, it's not that his name isn't as well known. And like he's responsible for the Ducktales stuff was taken from his comics. His creations, his stories. I think he's up in my top five for sure. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Don Rosa? Not my cup of tea. I don't enjoy his drawing style. I've never maybe I've only read like a couple of his stories, but just the drawing style really turns me off. Um, Very kind of mechanical, and like the little hatching technique he uses isn't my favorite. And I guess probably because it's like just compared to Karl Barks, there's just much more appeal in Barks' stuff. It's just much more um my my to my tastes. But he's obviously a prolific artist himself. Plenty of fans and plenty of books he's done. But not for me. Well, it's unfortunate. I saw. I think he's retired now, Don Rosa, and I think I saw um, an interview with him. And he was talking about it was. I don't know if he had to retire because of this, but because of his eyesight was going, like he couldn't, like he can't focus or something. I don't quite remember what it was, but it's a scary thought, for an artist to not be able to continue doing what you were born to do, and then not by choice, just by physical function failing. Mm, bigger. One of my other favorite comic artists is Virgil Parch, or VIP, VIP. Signed a lot of his work, but that guy has it's a hilarious style and a hilarious point of view, and his drawings were great. But he had vision problems at the end of his life too. He had a running comic strip at the time called Big George, and he was behind because his vision was failing. But then he ended up getting this apparatus that was like fit onto his head, and it was like basically like this like huge uh, set of goggles that were extremely magnified, so it allowed him to continue working at a even faster pace. And he was like 5 years ahead in his comic strip. And then when he passed away in that time, so his comic strip was running with new material past his death. It was pretty insane. Legit, no artists are appreciated in Australia. Oh, really? You guys don't like comics or cartoons or stuff out there, or is it just more like you enjoy like the property and the shows and stuff, but like the actual artists, aren't known. I mean, I think that's pretty much the case for the U.S. I mean, I think a lot of general audiences, yeah, that'd be rough. Yeah, general audiences don't know the names behind the work that they enjoy. No. I hate when this happens when I forget that I or don't remember, don't plan on having an area that's black. I have to connect these lines, and it always looks kind of funky. I want to fill this because it's nighttime right now. Now I got to go through and draw back over white because those chunky lines don't look right when you fill the outside with black. Kind of messes with them. Then just fill that whole part in with black. And let's see if I no, not like that. Just put a screen there, I think. Screen tone. Let's see. Do I fuck with milk? Gross. Yeah, certainly. I have his yeah, was that She Done Her Wrong book. Um I wanted that one big like big fat collection of a bunch of his work, but last time I saw it was pretty expensive because it's out of print. But yeah, I love his stuff. I really like those two animated shorts he worked on too with his characters. They're pretty wild. They're like at the movie theater. Um, yeah, his style is so fun and freeing to look at. I wish I could do something that was so full of energy and like, not worrying about any kind of standard perspective or anything. It's just like pure fun cartooning. All right, I think I need to add some shadows here. Two. Put some over this too. Yeah, I really love the way Milk Gross draws people. They're always so stupid looking. It's great. Maybe you should have some too. I don't usually plan where I'm putting the blacks when I do the penciling, just because it's kind of easy to kind of try things out. Now, if we were doing it on paper, you'd have to, plan more accordingly. I like just like to look at the page and see where I want to have, where I need more where I need the focal point to be. Though that runs in trouble sometimes. You have to redo things that I didn't plan right. It's like it's really easy to just jump in and start drawing, and it's unfortunate when you have to fix something. think maybe that chair with a tone. Maybe that whole piece. Hmm. Not sure if I like that, but I'll leave it for now. I wonder. Make it heavier and see if that looks better. I think it looks a little better. Those last two faces are gold. Thanks. Yeah, it was kind of tricky. Like I wanted it to kind of build up and not be too repetitive because it is a repetitive gag, you know. Um, so I tried to push them while still like kind of like making a symmetrical kind of expression because that's what I thought fit the scene. Need to fix this one. I forgot this. I didn't draw the bowl in this one. I think I actually might just do it. I do it on the ink. Okay. See. I'll be in the exact same place, and I'll just re-ink that. I try not to actually just copy and paste. Um, just because it adds a little bit more life to it if it's even just a little bit different in repeated panels. And I try not to do like the repeated panels too much, even though I do like it. Like especially coming from like an animation background, like your brain thinks like that a lot of a scene and a character moving around in that scene with the background being the same. But it doesn't always work with comics because it can kind of look like it doesn't have the same effect as it does in animation, in my opinion. Yeah, man, Gross is great. I need to put time aside and study his shit more. If I could draw 10% as funny in my boards, I'd be set. Yeah, seriously. It's like this whole like there's certain artists that just have like no inhibition. Like it's just straight, I don't know, kind of magical to be able to do that. And like even with his humor, like there's a board artist called Teddy Newton. I guess his name Teddy Newton. Yeah, he worked on like Iron Giant. And there's a thing on the DVD where it shows one of his boards that was they make it sound like he like did it all on his own and like not taking the whole story the movie in consideration because it's like a pretty wild board of like uh Dean takes out Hogarth on a night on the town, and it's like absolutely ridiculous. I think that they go to a bar. It's like it's all crazy and done in Teddy Newton style. He's a very 50s influence of cartooning. But he's like an artist that I think of like when I think of people who seem to have like an ability to just get their ideas straight to the drawing board without any concern of what others might think or what you know has been done before. You know, I don't know if any of that made sense. Let's see. And Virgil Partridge is another artist that I think of that. That's just like straight to the board, funny, nothing holding him back. Like Virgil Partridge is a funny thing where he draws, really goofy looking humans and everything, and he'll draw like seven fingers on one hand just because it looks funny. And his little anecdote for that was because he worked at Disney as an animator or in betweener for a little while, and he was saying how they made me draw hands with just four fingers total, which is a an abomination already. So why can't I do it with more fingers? Which is kind of funny. Like when you think about it, like yeah, why can't you? Why is less fingers uh, acceptable other than it just being in the zeitgeist already? Hmm. I think this reads pretty good. Wanted to keep it nice and simple, like the backgrounds. That's more based on the characters moving in and out and having expressions. And I didn't want too much. I don't even like having this chair here, but they're at a table and they're sitting or standing on a chair. Um, since they're short, they couldn't stand in front of a table and still be visible. But alrighty, I think I'll ink this one and then call it a night. Surprised my power didn't go out at all. Been storming, but it sounds like it's blown over by now. Yeah, Chris Riccardi is like that too. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, his style had like a huge influence on. I almost wonder if like, especially with boards, which in TV, the style of the boards can heavily influence the final look of the show since it's more of a almost like a layout. But his style, I think, I sometimes wonder if that was more influential than John Kay's, from Ren and Stimpy. It was kind of a Riccardi style eye a little bit. These eyes. Yeah, and Bob Camps, yeah. I think so. Him and Bob Camps were kind of defined what we do in boarding. Yeah, that's definitely. when I hit a corner like that. You gotta stop before go over. One thing I just discovered recently that I feel like a dummy for not knowing about it and not trying it. I guess I wouldn't try it if I didn't know about it, but the extra nibs that come with the Wacom pen. Um, oh man, this one's worn down already. Maybe that's what's throwing it off. I didn't know that there were different textures of the pens of the nibs. I had been using the hard plastic ones. Let's come off. Oh. I didn't realize that the gray ones were like had like a bit of a texture that creates a little extra drag on the screen as if you're kind of like drawing with a pencil on paper, you know. That also recently just got a magnetized texture screen for my iPad that you put over it instead of having like a sticky screen protector that you have to like get on perfectly with and risk getting like bubbles on it and stuff. It's just like a magnet, so it goes in there really good. And that like completely changed my ability to actually draw on the iPad. I was way too slick before and it felt uncomfortable. But with that thing, it was way easier. And then with switching to like the different nib, made it feel a whole lot better. Oh, this one's slick. I thought all the gray ones were textured. Wait, this one feels different. But it's kind of crazy drawing with the tablet for like I don't know over 10 15 years or something. I never knew that that there were different style nibs. Oh, that one's not as hmm. Only one that was like that? Maybe. Dang. Oh well. I'll have to look online and see if you can get some more. See if I can get some more. They're slightly textured. Yeah, this one's a little more slick. But I just realized when looking at it that this nib is already, the one I was using before, is already worn down and flat in an area, in a spot. Anyways, to draw some exciting motion lines here, radial lines. Enter. Mm. Actually, I probably want to come in from him. So probably right there. Wait. Let's see. Just changed my nibs to as flat as hell. Yeah. I actually remember the first time I actually realized you had to change the nibs. I didn't know you did. It was like a long time ago, but I started getting like my old Wacom like slightly little scratches on the screen, like very subtle ones. It was because the nib was so far down, the plastic part was like hitting the screen, and it was like even on the pen, the plastic was worn down a little bit because it had been hitting it for so long. I didn't know. That was like, you know, real long time ago. But I just remember like, oh, I didn't know you had to do that. I thought the Wacom drawing screen was super cool when I first used it. I could never use it 'cause in college. The only stuff we had to use in that regard were the I don't even know what you call them, but the ones that where you draw, like there's no screen, it's just the pad, and you look up at the screen as you're drawing. I could never use those. I felt it was like way too much of a disconnect. And I couldn't get anything good out of them. So anytime like I had took a Flash class in college, I would just draw things with the mouse, which I was pretty decent at. I just couldn't get used to that drawing thing. Um, but then I got the actual screen. Obviously, way easier to use. But there's people who have no problem using the drawing pad. But all right. Mm. this line a bit thicker because it's popping out of the panel. It needs to feel a little heavier. Alrighty. A little early to tell, but I think the oh man, let's save. I think the pressure sensitivity issues I was having was caused by the nib being worn down in a certain place, so it was throwing off where my pressure was going through. I don't know. I feel like it hasn't done it since I switched the nib. I feel really dumb if that was the case. Oh wait, I need to. But I guess that's better than having a computer technical issue. I think I don't even want that ear popping out. No, I did that. Better. Definitely interesting streaming and drawing. I feel like I'm being a little less precious, not undoing too much, and just kind of, even though I am still undoing a lot. But overall, feels like I'm just kind of going a bit, I don't know about faster, but I don't know, it just feels different. So I guess I'll see what the end result is with this issue. It's kind of an experiment to see if it's viable to stream and draw at the same time. I don't want the comic to suffer if I'm being too distracted, or if it's like making too many mistakes where I have to go back and fix things because I wasn't thinking right. One thing I love doing that I got from Rod Scribner's drawings is doing those the wrinkles, especially on the above the eyebrows, where like you do like the little break in the line there. So it's like you do one eyebrow and that. It's like really satisfying, even though it's like can be seen as ugly, I guess. But I don't know, wrinkles are really fun. They make the character feel like really rubbery and expressive. There's a bit of echo, dude. Oh man, that sucks. There was echo on the last stream. Has it been like that the whole time, or did it just start? Because there was an echo of the last stream. It was because it was capturing audio from my camera and my microphone. I thought I turned off the other one. Dang it. Let me see if I can I don't know if I can monitor it. Listen. Let's see, can I hear it? Is it even on my headphones? Okay. Can I hear an echo? I can't even hear my headphones. Dang it. Oh well. Well, I think I'm going to end the stream anyways because it's getting pretty late. I hope it wasn't like that the whole time. That'll suck. Yeah, I think I'll just finish this next time. Hmm. All right. Well, anyways, thanks for coming by again, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna call it a night. See, I wonder if I can hear it on that. Let's see. Can I hear it now? No, I don't hear anything in this. Man. All right. Well, anyways. I'm taking off for now, though. Alrighty, well, guess even if it is echoey, I'll do my little ad spiel. I don't know if let's see, hold on. And then this one. If you want to get my books, they're on Amazon right now and cannedcomics.com. Hope it's not really echoey right now, but read links there. So anyways, if you like my work and you want to get it there. All right, good night. Bye.